So I'm here in not so sunny Swansea, and we've got a buy-to-let back. Had a long-term tenant in there, and we're going to make our decision whether or not this property could be used as service accommodation or not. This is actually one of Caroline's, my other half, so she's a little bit more patient with regards to having tenants than me, but if it was me, I'd just be selling it on. If it doesn't work, as I say, because don't want any more tenants, but it ultimately be her decision. But it's not got a bad view there, but one of the issues is permits. Okay, so permit parking, as you can see, it's just a bog standard end of terrace property, and there's no permit parking that side of the street, but as you can see, it's had a bit of a premium. We can just about get away with putting one here, and then that is permit. Now, one of the things we're considering is actually knocking this down here and getting a drop curb in order to park. So once I go in, we'll have a little look on the other side of that fence. So potentially we could put parking there. You wait till you see the other side though. It is Wales and it's very hilly, and there's a few issues that are going to need to be sorted out. So downstairs, the tenants haven't left it too bad. It's a bit of a dark day, but we're not going to need to do too much to this kitchen. We don't like the fact that they've painted the walls, blimey, it's almost black. But a lot of you, when you have attended my training, you've noticed me tease Caroline because she doesn't tend to put downstairs toilets in, and I do. And this is actually the under the stairs cupboard that she says is too small for a downstairs loo. I beg to differ, because you can go all the way in, all the way in. I'm still stood up, okay? And then imagine if you were sitting down, and you've got all this space still, okay? So there's still enough space for a sink or something like that if you were sat down on the carsy. Okay, so I've just proved, okay, for those of you that have been on my training, you've seen me and Caroline disagree whether that is big enough for a downstairs loo. What do you think? Do you agree with me, or do you agree with Caroline? Anyway, as I say, that would have been better, wouldn't it, if it had downstairs loo? So anyway, going back here, tenants have actually left the blinds, which is nice. So this is one of the better ones that we've had back. You know, this is in much better condition. A couple of guys were living here. They were a couple, so they looked after it really nicely. Consider it. I mean, carpet's probably going to need changing, and it's going to need some decorating, but you can't complain too much. A lot of people say, oh, well, you've got a deposit, you know, that you can deduct from a deposit, but if we're replacing carpets and everything, we're not going to be able to. They've been in here for God knows about 5 years. We can't go saying, look, we're deducting from your deposit to replace carpet. So things like that, you know, the deposit doesn't even make a dent in that cost. So yeah, not too bad. We've got, what else? Oh, where's the lights in this one? Bathroom's not too bad, decent. Just shower over bath, and it's not going to need too much doing to it, this bathroom. Now, let's go outside and have a look. Caroline's told me I've got to make sure I turn all the lights off and see what issues we're going to have to contend with outside, especially when it comes to potentially putting a parking space, because it's got permit. But the thing is with permit is quite often the permits just have the one vehicle registration on the permit, don't they? So you can't just be using that for your guests. Tenants have left that shed, which is not too bad. They've also left cameras. Okay, so we'll have to look at that and see whether or not we can hook into that and use that. And worst case scenario, the cameras, they're dummy cameras, aren't they? And they can deter scallywags. Now then, as promised, this is out the back. So as you can see, this is a wee bit hilly, and that bit of a death trap, isn't it? So in order to do parking, we would obviously have to pretty much remove all of that. All of this here would have to come out, so that's quite a big job, and it's not going to be cheap. So we'll just have to decide if we're going to re-tenant it. We'd have to spend a fair bit making it that a lot of the stuff's coming down, so we're going to have to do more retaining work to sort that out. So we'd have to spend quite a bit even to use it as a buy-to-let, and to use it as SA if we were going to drop the curb and to put parking here, then that's quite a bit of work as well in order to do that. So decisions. What would you do with this house? As I say, not all properties work as service accommodation, so we've got to decide whether this one does or whether it doesn't. I said, do you know what, if it was easy and all we had to do is tart it up inside and put some furniture in and there was parking, it'd probably be a no-brainer. But I suppose we're going to have to decide, is it going to be worth it, whether as buy-to-let or as SA, to spend the extra money on creating some parking? Or do we give it a whirl with the current parking situation outside? Who knows? What do you think? Have you experienced this stuff yourself in the past? What should I do? Let me know in the comments. We definitely haven't decided what we're going to do yet. We've got a couple of days in Swansea. We're going to mull it over. We can get some quotes in. We've got estate agents coming in to give us their opinion on its resale value, etc., etc. And so ultimately, we will make our decision in due course. So I hope you found that useful, interesting, everybody. Here's to your success in serviced accommodation. Remember, your future needs you. Take care. See you soon.